Join us on our journey through life through the Christian lens.
Enough with that. Roll the tape.
Welcome back to the Filter Podcast. I'm Evan,
I'm the only Colby.
and thank you for joining us. Today, for the podcast, we have Maxwell Ashenfelter.
Hello.
Hello.
Max.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you for coming
Yeah.
and bearing with our very dramatic first take.
Yeah.
Yep.
This isn't our first rodeo.
Yep, we know a thing or two about starting and not having a usable take or having
Yeah.
to restart.
Yeah. Did I tell you about our first one? About how the audio just didn't record?
I kind of figured that out on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our first one, it just didn't record, and then our second one, it recorded mine but not Evan's, and then our third one worked right, and we're like, we're not doing episode 1 ever again.
We're not scrapping this thing. We're going.
So that's why there's now a welcome to episode 2 as the series premiere.
Yeah. Well, Maxwell, please introduce yourself.
Well, as you just told everybody, my name's Max. Maxwell. I really don't care what you call me, Max or Maxwell. It doesn't matter
What
to
about
me.
Maxwell Senior?
No, we're not calling me that.
Maxwell the Seventh?
I mean, I will. What?
What?
The 7th?
Yeah.
I will only allow Colby to say these things.
You heard that, Hayden? Don't say that.
Who is I?
I don't know. Who are you?
Yeah, like I said a little bit earlier, again, it was the first take, but my mother, Connie, gave birth to Maxwell Ashenfelter on the 27th of August in 2005. I'm trying to remember the time, but I forget. All I know is that it was 2 minutes before Mitchell.
You came out, you were like...
No, you missed it. He just dropped to the fact that he was 2 minutes before Mitchell. I don't remember the time, but it was 2 minutes before Mitchell. That's all that's important.
He slid out, went...
Yep. I always tell the story that me and Mitch had a fist fight inside and I won. That's why I came out first.
Oh, yeah.
He was still recovering.
Even though he beats you up now.
That's not true. Okay.
What's your social security number?
I was literally just about to start talking, and then I realized that I had a mic.
Wow, we were off the rails.
Okay, so you have a brother?
Yeah. I grew up in a house of 3 siblings until 3 became 4, and then 4 became 7 other siblings. So
Sounds chaotic.
I'm chaotic, but no, you're not wrong. 8 kids in a household is not. What's the word I'm looking for? It is very chaotic. It's, but it's a joy too, though.
Yeah.
4 of them were adopted, and I have 3 biological siblings. But I guess just growing up, I never realized what life could have looked like without so many siblings. I don't like thinking about it because then it makes me think my life would be completely different and I might not be here.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I've been here for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's even weirder saying that I've been here longer than Sean. But that's the case.
Yeah. What he means is the church, not life.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let's make that clear. Church, not life. I'm not that old yet.
Yet.
There will be a day where I...
That's how age works.
Just goes, there'll be a day.
There will be a day.
I don't know if that was a threat.
Maybe it was.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways. I guess a little bit more about myself. I grew up in obviously a Christian household with these, not with these, but around these people, not knowing who they were until around like a couple of years ago. Yeah, I was always taught to do the right things, always taught to do all the right stuff. Grew up in public school. Really loved it, but at the same time didn't realize how much it was affecting me. I went to Washington kindergarten first and second, and then third grade I got pulled out of Washington and I came to Warsaw Christian, which is the school we have here at the church, which is now Lakeland Christian Academy. I was here until 6th grade, but again, I didn't really realize how much of a different public to private school really was.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also weird because then I went right back into public school right after being in private.
Which does a number on you.
Tell me about it. I'll get there. No, but like I went back to public school for middle school and then went to the high school. Kind of, again, didn't realize how much it was affecting me. And just like my attitude at home or like the things that I had to get done. Come sophomore year, so we're saying I think it's 2020. All that COVID stuff going down. I got pulled out to go into homeschooling, which I knew was going to be the case for a long time. I just was hoping that it would hold out until I got out of high school. But my mom was homeschooled all the way through, so she kind of wanted to do the same thing with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I would encourage parents to homeschool your kids because, I mean, you get to teach them not only the stuff that you want to teach them, but you can teach them the right things.
You're also giving them a little bit more freedom.
Exactly. And time. That's a big one. I have time to do everything that I need to do in a school setting. I also get to work a lot more and still be able to get all my school done.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's awesome.
I'm talking like I know how homeschooling works.
Yeah.
I'm not actually a homeschooler. I've never had homeschool.
You're just around homeschoolers all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that I've been through every school system per se.
Yeah.
Private, public, and homeschool. So
I
I tried all of it. You were just in one?
Yeah. Homeschool all the way.
Homeschool.
We're better.
We are. Elitist.
Unlike those left-handies.
Mitchell. Tyler.
Good thing he's 2 minutes younger than Max.
Exactly.
You ever notice how twins the older one always makes a point to let everyone know that they're older?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's just like a general question people ask. Like when you say we're twins, like the first question they ask is, well, that's not the first question. The first question is, are you guys fraternal or, I forget the other word. I'm blanking on it. Twins. Yeah, there you go, twins. But then like the follow-up question to that is who's older, and I'm just like me. It's me. Like it might be not so clear. I mean, he's a little taller than me, but height don't matter. I will.
Just those 2 minutes.
Those 2 minutes took a toll on.
Those 2 minutes I can use.
2 minutes took a toll. A little extra baking time.
I can now say I've known my mom and dad longer than Mitchell. It's weird saying it, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of like what I grew up in and kind of hopping around a lot. We moved probably like 3 or 4 times during this entire thing. So not a lot of stationary stuff.
Yeah.
But stayed in the same district.
Yeah. We have never left Warsaw, the boring city of the world. Nothing happened here. Nothing happens here.
Trust me, there's slower cities.
Yeah, that's true.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
To me, you're lying because I've never been anywhere else.
The place where I was at for camp over the summer, the closest Walmart or like any convenience store is 45 minutes away.
That's just, you're in the middle of nowhere.
slower city.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's also misery.
Okay, buddy.
But nah, that's some of what I grew up in, and like I said, I've been in this church for 18 years, so it's nothing from this church is like new to me. I didn't know where the church was going, mainly because we weren't big, to be honest. Early on, not early on, but like when I was here, we weren't like that big. But we've been growing. We've had a lot more attendance, which is very cool, and we're growing as a church. And me personally, it's been honestly a blessing, not only to see like my home church grow this much, but to be able to just see a church that wants to grow and wants to do more. So that's just a little bit what I've grown up into and where I am now. I mean, now I'm just working, and either you find me at home doing school, here doing intern. Oh, I'm an intern. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a student ministries intern under Sean Mason. That's been a blessing as well. That's shown me a lot. And I feel like I kind of got that calling around the time when, like, Reg came here, which is very, I mean, the timing is crazy, but Reg is our lead pastor. He is great.
You can say that again.
There's not much more I can say other than he's great.
Yeah.
He's
fantastic.
Great.
Tony the Tiger stamp of approval.
The what?
What?
That's Tony the Tiger's motto for Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
I didn't know his name was Tony.
Yeah.
Who named him Tony?
The people who made Frosted Flakes.
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
His name's Tony the Tiger.
Tony the Tiger.
Tony the Tiger.
No.
If you don't feel old after that comment, I don't know what will.
I've been named Tony the Tiger since before I was born.
Yeah, but
That's a lie.
I'm not. Okay, we're looking it
Search
up.
it up.
Fact check.
When was Tony the Tiger created? 1952.
Is what
Right
Tony
there,
the Tiger sailed the
1952.
ocean
You can
blue.
see it right there. Evan and post. Zoom in on it or something. I don't know. I don't know what your post abilities are.
My post ability.
1952.
When Tony the Tiger sailed the flakes of blue.
No.
We're going to make a song out of that.
All right.
That's our Christmas song.
Tony the Tiger.
All right. So one of our signature questions that we like to ask people. It's not my own original idea, but what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
That is your original idea.
Ben given or would give?
Been given.
Ben given. That's an interesting question. I don't know. I guess this is like one that a lot of people like are handed, but like a lot of people say to them, and I bet everybody's been said this, but like don't quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because something is hard does not make it bad.
Mm.
That's just kind of something that I've grown up in. It just don't quit.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if it's something that you need to get out of and it's clear as day, and you can feel the Lord pushing you out of it, then it's not really called quits. It's called following the Lord. So, and yeah, just don't quit.
Yeah. Amen. I like that.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Evan, I believe you had the topic
What?
that we brought Max for. That you want to
Oh, yeah.
discuss?
Yeah. Sorry. So today, Max, I asked you to come for, we wanted you to be here, obviously.
For comedy purposes.
Yeah, only comedy purposes.
I'm not that funny.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I don't. Most of the stuff I say, I don't even feel like should get a laugh.
That's the way you say it.
Yeah. You say it so monotone.
Is that? Should I change?
No, you shouldn't
No.
change. Don't
That's
change.
awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
But anyway, I also wanted you to kind of like just talk about your message that you gave 909, because I feel like a lot of people should hear it on the podcast, and I think the w- the way that you um taught your message, you came out with personal stuff with your personal life. And a lot of people don't really connect with the Bible and personal life. And so I thought you would be a great person to just to uh, talk to everyone, and kind of just to what are the words I'm trying to
Bridge the gap.
yeah, bridge the gap and help everybody.
Spark the conversation. Keep it going. Continue it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I did. I taught to the youth group. The passage that I kind of like used as a reference was Lamentations 3:1-18, which is pretty long. I mean, it is very long. A lot of it is like the same stuff though, of just around that time is kind of where Jeremiah was the prophet. He was in Jerusalem, and he was the prophet for Jerusalem, and so he was there trying to get people to repent and all of that, and trying to get them to turn back to God, which, as we know, is in the Bible, it's just up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's never a constant fall in the Lord, which is kind of like what a lot of us are today, is just up and down, up and down. So kind of what like I taught about was like, as Christians, if I would say all of us at one point in our lives are going to hit a dark spot where we kind of just feel as though God is just not there. I mean, just knowing like a lot of the Christians we have, not the Christians, but a lot of the people we have around here, it happens a lot more often than people want to give credit for. And it's not an easy thing, because I know a lot of people who like are on fire for Jesus and like can feel his presence and all of that, but there's just a great majority of people who just don't feel that.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of what is called the dark night of the soul, and that's something that not a lot of people know. I didn't know it until a while back when I started this lesson.
Yeah.
But it's just not something that you want to it's not something you want to experience, but it's something that you're probably going to.
Yeah.
It's not like something where you're like rebelling against God and that's what you're doing. It's just the time of your life where you feel as though God's not there.
Yeah.
R.C. Sproul, or Sproul, I forget how to say his last name. Sproul. There we go. He puts it in words of like, I used to like pray to God all the time and we had a great relationship. Now it just feels like I'm praying to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And like I'm just talking to an empty room. Which is so true in how some people feel, and I felt this so much last year. So the kind of personal story that I shared was about my grandpa. Just through he died from cancer in January 24th.
Yeah.
I had 2 meetings with him. Again, I don't know why this happened, but during that entire time, I really didn't see him much.
Yeah.
He was kind of at home, and I was off doing work, school, and other stuff, which should not have let that get in the way, but life happened. The first meeting that I had was very good, and it was actually enjoyable. The second one, not so much. The first one was kind of at like the hospital, and this is like back when it kind of first started, but we knew it was getting serious. So I kind of like went into the hospital. He was on drugs, so he was all up and at him and wide awake, and he would be just talking and talking and talking. So we just got talking about sports, about baseball, about football. My cousin ended up video calling, so we kind of got a chit chat with him as well. But again, at that time he was on drugs, so I saw the difference in him of just like being excited and like up and looking everywhere, and I'm just like, what is going on with him? But it was just cool to be able to talk and have that moment together in the hospital. But the second meeting, like I said, was not enjoyable at all. I wish it. I won't even say that because I would rather it happen again and again and again. But it was at his house. This is the 22nd, so the Sunday before the Tuesday, which is the 24th. We went over at like 9-ish at night. I knew going into it because I was told his life was coming to an end. That news was not any news that you ever want to get, but going into it, I just like walked into the house, and even before that, I didn't want to go, but knew that I probably should. Walked into the house, saw him, and kind of just like, I mean, okay, if you guys know me, I'm queasy at like blood and all that disgusting stuff like that. So see, not okay. It's not just blood, but it's also like a lot of other stuff. But just seeing that in like real life and seeing that to my grandpa as I walked in the door, I just could not handle that. So I kind of went and hid in the hallway and kind of cried a little bit. Eventually did go out and sit with him and family sing songs and all of that. But long story short, I did not feel God in any of that leading up to that moment of just like, God, where are you at? Like, we've been asking you to heal this guy, and he's declining faster than I've ever seen it. It would decline. But it wasn't until after that night, apparently. Again, I shared this with my mom, and she didn't know about it until I shared with it at youth group. We were getting up to leave, and I was one of the last grandkids to like get up and leave the room. And he kind of grabbed my wrist and pulled me back a little bit.
Yeah.
And at that time, he was like in his chair, and he had his eyes closed, so you couldn't really tell if he was listening or something like that. We know he could hear us, but he couldn't talk. But he grabbed my wrist and kind of pulled me back, and at first I was shocked because he should not have had even the strength with his arm that far.
Yeah.
But he grabbed my wrist, pulled me back a little bit, and he started praying. And at first I didn't realize what he was doing because like he was mumbling and I couldn't really hear him. And so I was just kind of like standing there like, what's going on? And my grandma like dips her head in, and she's like, oh, he's praying for you. And like it didn't even hit me at that moment. I was like, oh, cool. like it was a normal thing for that to happen in that moment. So I was like, oh, cool. And then at the end of it, again, I didn't catch a lot of what he said, but at the end of it, I caught the snippet of what he said. He just said like, help Max to keep following you and to keep looking up. And so I was like, cool. It hit me as soon as I got home though. Emotions were at an all-time high right there of just like anger, sadness, and confusion. It was just a lot of, most of it was anger, not gonna lie. But I knew because of his pain that he needed to go. So around the time that we knew he needed to go, we started praying for him to go. And a lot of my anger was lifted off at that time. But then when he prayed for me and he said all that, I was like, okay, I don't want him to go. But that's the case with anybody you love. And that kind of resonates with what Jeremiah was going through, just like this city, which ultimately gets destroyed by Egypt and then Babylon, and then eventually it's not a city anymore.
Yeah.
He's been that was his mission field of trying to get them to repent and all of that, and he just felt as though God wasn't there because he wasn't seeing it. He wasn't seeing any improvement in it, anybody's lives, and that's the same with me. Of like, I felt God there at the beginning because I was asking Him to heal my grandpa, and then instead of the healing, it just got worse and worse and worse, and so I felt like, God, just like, where are you at? So every single time we prayed for him, I was like, what are we praying for? Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. So that's just kind of like what I thought about, of just like how you have moments in life where you feel as though God is like there and you're on fire for Jesus, and like, you know, like He's gonna keep you going, and then you have those moments where you're just like, okay, where you at? Like, I'm trying to find you and I can't. And a lot of that stems from our feelings. And I will keep saying that, of like, I felt as though God was not there because, come on now, we know He was.
Yeah.
Bible clearly says it. Deuteronomy 31:6. He's never gonna leave you or forsake you. He's gonna be there. I put it in terms of just like right. Me sitting here right now, I know that the Lord is like right in front of me.
Yeah.
And that's what gives me comfort and hope to see my grandpa one day, of just like, I know the Lord's here, and I know the Lord has a perfect plan, so why should I be mad at His plan? So that's just kind of like what I thought about, and kind of like how I resonated with it through my own life.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Such a powerful story, and honestly something that a lot of people in life just don't know.
Yeah. Especially for the youth.
Yeah.
Even though that me and you are still, quote unquote, youth, still teen.
We're adults.
Yeah, we're adults, but like, we are surrounded by all these young kids, all these kids that are coming from trauma, and a bunch of grief from parents to people dying in their lives. And
people hurt people.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, though. I mean, I don't like. Maybe, yeah. I'll say this and just kind of let it sit. But that's kind of like what motivates me to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Not saying that like every kid's like horrible stuff in life is what drives me to like live every day, because that's kind of
Thank you
weird.
for feeling terrible. I'm going to help you.
Yeah, but like when I became an intern, it was after Momentum. And if you guys don't know what Momentum is, you should go look at it. Momentum Ministry Partners.
And Collide.
I'm sold.
Collide. You're sold already?
Yeah.
On both?
Yeah, it's actually this right here. This is Collide.
I was talking about Momentum. Momentum sounds pretty cool.
I mean, you're wearing Collide and Momentum right now.
Yeah, I did not plan that at all.
You're wearing
this
Momentum.
is Momentum, and this is Collide. And
I'm wearing
Momentum.
Grace.
Grace boy.
Anyway.
Anyways, that's kind of like where I felt the calling, and like as I'm like, and I felt this like every Momentum and Collide or everything that I've been in, I just didn't really want to respond to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Of just like standing there and seeing all these kids and these youth that like are going through things in life, and it's just, one, it breaks my heart, and it, like, I hate the stuff that like they have to go through nowadays, and like I don't want that for them, and so I kind of like, that's what drives me to like try and bring them into the light and be like, here's what the Bible says, and like, even through all that crap that you're going through right now, this is what it says, and you don't gotta be afraid, and you don't gotta be like anxious or scared or anything about that stuff. Yeah. Because one day it's all gonna be gone.
One thing I've kind of noticed with people in my life, and I told Evan about this, but it's interesting watching how people cope, even people that know Christ. That there's this God-sized hole in our hearts and souls, and all the time we're trying to fill it and cope with other things. And it's just sad because all the things that we're coping with are things that just make that hole a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you're here, like, I love Jesus, I love God. And I'm like, well, then you should know that these coping things with things in life shouldn't be drugs, alcohol, yada, yada, yada. It should be running after God and spending time in the Bible.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, we listen to what the world says, not what God says, and pursue that temporary pleasure.
Yeah.
We're stupid.
Amen.
Yeah.
That temporary pleasure doesn't. And when we say temporary, I mean very short
Yeah.
amount of time.
It's-
And then we keep running back to it, thinking that it's gonna do it again.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's great, Colby.
Yeah.
That put it in a lot of perspective for me right there.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like saying that's what gives me the drive, but that's just kind of like what has led me to where I'm at.
That's why you do what you do.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to help broken people.
I feel like there's a little bit about that and like a lot of people that are in this ministry. I mean, most of Momentum and Collide are the whole staff is there to the whole staff is there to be ready for when you are ready for God. And that's
Bro.
that's why I'm always so happy of going to Collide and Momentum, because we're seeing kids being saved each freaking year, and it's so amazing. And it's so amazing because we get to live and see that and wait until we go to heaven and see them there.
So true, dude.
Yeah. It's been fun being a leader within the youth group and seeing people grow and accept Christ.
Colby, I'm happy you're here.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I won't name names, but there's certain people like One Momentum helped somebody accept Christ. It's been fun watching that path since then.
Yeah.
It's been fun watching you guys grow up. And you too, Max. Like, I remember you were one of the first people I met, and I was like, man, this guy's kind of awesome. Wild child, but he's kind of awesome. And now you're up there speaking. I'm like, man, I'm so proud of you. Running after Christ.
Man, that means a lot to me. I want to be in the same boat that you're in, of like seeing kids that I would assume that in the next couple of years that I'm gonna be a leader here, because I don't see myself anywhere else.
Yeah.
But like just being able to see those students and see them grow up and do that within the Lord's standards, but that's something that I want to see happen, and that's something that we need to make sure we keep doing.
Yeah. One thing that I think is a great piece of advice I was given for ministry is hard, but it's also very, very rewarding, because you'll meet people that you care about the most in life, and you'll pour into them and think they get it, but they don't quite get it, and they just stray away. But when you have those times that those people you really care about and you think they get it, and they do get it, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think about all the people that I thought got it and they didn't. That's hard. It still kind of resonates here today. I can think of several names off the top of my head. I thought they got it. They didn't. And it hurts.
It's especially sad when you know that like this person got it, but then stuff happens in their life, and then going back to feeling like God's not there anymore, and then they just go on to what they think their real life.
Yeah.
When they're they are literally living a fake life. A real life with God sets you on for life, but a fake life with God, now that's some repentance you need, because I mean, at the end of the day, I've said this multiple times. We all want to be united. We all want to be with one each other. We want to be here. We want to be in heaven and experience God's love all together.
Yeah. I
But-
love this idea that a pastor of mine growing up presented of like, I can't wait to get to heaven and meet all the people that I've lived life along the way. And he's like, I love it whenever there's like a goodbye. And I'll always say to him, hey, when we get to heaven, can we grab a cup of coffee or whatever the heaven equivalent is and just catch up on what's happened in life? And like, I'm a person that has a hard time with saying goodbyes. I love that idea of like, one day I'll get a cup of coffee with, someone I met along the way. And it might be like 40 years of catching up with, but we have eternity.
Man, I can't wait to have holy grounds with you.
Evan.
Sorry, I was holding that in my pocket for a second.
It was funny because Max was about to say something, and I was really excited to see what he was about to say.
Jehovah, yeah. You made me forget what I was going to say, but the Holy Grounds is really funny.
I was talking about meeting up with people.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That to me is gonna be so cool, and like, obviously that won't be like our like main focus, but it's cool to like, just think about that. Like, I'm gonna be living eternity with brothers and sisters that I met along the way,
Yeah.
and like, we're gonna be having so much fun together, so much more fun than we've already had here on Earth. And there won't be any more times of sorrow. And I feel like that's something that it's not a bad thing, but like, it's just something that I've had with everybody that I've met. And like, knowing that that's not going to happen in heaven and all that sorrow is going to be gone.
Yeah.
And all we have to talk about is like, wow, like, just be in awe of everything that's going on. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you get to meet the heroes of the faith.
Yeah.
And you get to hear their stories.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Heaven's going to rock. And it's going to roll.
We're going to throw a rave. Huge rave. Wouldn't that be crazy, though?
Holy
Like, think
rave.
about that. Like, what if there's like the like biggest stadium you can come up with, and then make that like 30 times bigger? Sorry, not 30, like 100 times bigger.
Infinity times bigger.
Yeah, and you're able to like see every single Christian and like every single person who is in heaven. Like, that's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
And like, that's something where we all like, I believe in the Bible it says there will be no tears, and like, tears will be wiped away, but like, even I believe that there might even be tears of joy in heaven. And because those kind of tears are not bad at all.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be awesome. And like, just thinking about that, like, kind of like, sometimes it'll make your brain hurt, but at other times you're like, whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've cried tears of joy before. Those tears are awesome.
Mm.
But you're looking at me like you're about to say something.
No, I was, but it's heresy, so I'm not gonna say it.
Oh man.
So this is the problem. When me and Sam were dating, since they can do Bethel, she told me that I should listen to Homecoming by Bethel. It's a beautiful song. There's so much wrong with it though.
That's a really bad
name,
like, title song choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't.
So this is the line, okay? Because every single time when I hear Tears of Happiness, I always think of the lyric in there, which is wrong. It's wrong. Rivers of tears flow from good times or better. it says
Whoa.
that there will not be rivers of tears. So that's where it, like,
Yeah, that's a lot of. There are
it's
just,
like yes and no.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I get what they're trying to say,
that's Bethel.
but you know,
It's like
they're-
Stephen Furtick, just
They're
twisting
out
the
there.
words.
they're out there.
Yeah.
But you know, as long as the Bible's being preached, or
Yeah.
at least being opened.
You want to know something a little interesting? My phone storage is already full, so it's not even like recording the video anymore. But whatever, we got our 20 minutes.
It'll buff.
Yeah. That's our,
Buff.
that's his catchphrase. It'll buff, because literally everything that we've been doing, it'll buff.
That's
Well-
like a universal term. Like, your phone's not working, it'll buff. You're like, I don't know, like even in terms of a video, you're like, it'll buff. Like, that's
Yeah.
literally what it does. It buffs.
I mean, like a buff, like when you ding your car, you buff it out.
Yeah. Like that again. It's just a universal term.
That's buffering. Max is a different term.
The same thing.
You don't. Buffer
Whenever I
a-
stub my toe, I'm gonna go, oh, buff.
Okay,
It'll buff.
I'm glad.
All right, next.
You're done.
You're canceled.
And you're done. Yeah. Well,
This is great.
this was a great time.
I will then thank you guys again for inviting me here.
Well, thank you for
Thank you for coming. Yeah, like what Colby said.
It was a joy picking you up.
Yeah, it was a joy waiting 20 minutes and then driving all the way to your house just to pick you up.
Yeah, that should not have happened.
No.
It buffed.
Well, thank you for listening to the podcast. If you like it, please like and subscribe. If you want to listen anywhere else, we are everywhere except for Pandora. We're still trying to figure that out.
I don't think there's gonna be a solution. To
Yeah,
that
there
one.
probably won't be. Yeah, actually, really quick. Your sisters gave us crap for not figuring out Pandora.
Can I just be clear on one thing?
What?
Who uses Pandora?
Apparently
Thank
your
you.
sisters.
We literally talked about that.
Okay,
Dee Dee came
sorry.
up and was like,
I'll take that back. I know a lot of people who use Pandora, but like we got so many other better platforms than that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dee Dee came up to me and goes, "Why is your podcast on Pandora?" I'm like,
I bet you
I
there's
didn't
a
know
way.
Pandora was
There is a
still.
way.
I bet you
was
there's a way.
used.
There's
by
a way.
anybody.
It's just confusing. It's more confusing than all the other ones that we've tried.
You know what?
Well, all the other ones are really easy. It's just
It's just like,
you
yeah,
make
you
it in
make
one
an
place,
account,
and then
you put it on there and it go.
and then you make a link, and then you just click.
Mhm.
I want to go here and here and here.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Except
we'll
Apple.
figure it out.
It'll buff.
It'll buff.
It will always buff.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.